Hey guys, welcome to We Do It Outdoors. Today I'm going to talk about starting your own mowing business. This is my third year mowing now. I used to be operations administrator for a feed company, local company, and I was salary, working 5 days a week, 9 hours a day, and they downsized dramatically and pretty much laid off. So I didn't know what to do. There isn't a lot of jobs here in my area. I had a small 48-inch zero turn that I use just around the home, and a friend of mine mows grass part-time, and he told me, he's like, well, why don't you try mowing some grass and see how you do with that. So as I was being laid off, it was around February of 2014, and I started putting in different bids at a couple places, and I threw some advertisement in the newspaper and started talking to people I knew, asking them if they knew anybody that needed their grass mowed, and had some phone calls. Like I said, it was still early in the year. February, people aren't really thinking about mowing their grass. So I started to get discouraged a little bit because I wasn't getting very many calls, and I had a couple yards that I did pick up from people that I knew, and but I just kept trying, and I slowly started getting more calls, was talking to people, and found out that some of the people that I was going to meet knew people that I knew and family that I knew, from their family, and slowly started getting more and more, and started mowing with a couple friends. And my biggest suggestion is, do not mow with friends if you're first starting out. Try to do as much as possible by yourself if you can. My biggest problem was I didn't have a truck and I didn't have a trailer, but I had the nice zero turn, and I had my weed eater, and I had a leaf blower, and I had some rakes and stuff like that. So every little bit that you have already around the home can help you dramatically starting your business. But what ended up happening was, you're working with friends and they think they can slack off a little bit more, and when you start slacking off, you start losing money. And when you're first starting out, you got to save every dime that you can, because it is expensive starting out. Even if you're using a push mower, and your station wagon, you got maintenance, you got oil changes, you've got tires to worry about, brakes, blades, gas. Gas is your biggest expense that you're going to have. So, like I said, my biggest suggestion is start out by yourself if you can, if at all possible. If you have to, try to borrow a vehicle from somebody, or maybe someone has a trailer, or even a mower, a riding mower or something. Your dad or mom or brother or cousin or uncle or somebody has something extra laying around, or they don't mind helping you out, just getting started out. And what you're going to do is, when you're first starting out, do the best job that you possibly can. Be very, very meticulous, be very friendly, because your biggest advertisement is your work and word of mouth. I've only advertised just my first year, and I've picked up more jobs from word of mouth than I did from advertisement, because anybody can put something in the paper or on Craigslist and say you're the best. Prove it. Go out and do a very good job. And like I said, be very friendly. If they want to talk to you, talk to them, but don't spend your entire day there, because then you're losing money. Well, then people want to ask, well, what's a good rate to charge? Well, my best suggestion is, if you're going to do a bid to look at a yard, get out and actually walk around the entire property. Don't just glance and say, well, I could do it. No, don't do that. Get out, walk around, pretend like you're weed eating, walk around every little thing that that's going to be weed eating. Try to determine how big your mower deck is and how many swipes it's going to take you, whether you're push mowing, you got a riding tractor or a zero turn. You got to try to figure out in a ballpark area how long it's going to take you. And the easiest way that I found for me is charge $1 a minute. It's very easy to come up with that kind of number just by walking around one good time and really looking at obstacles. Obstacles are your biggest time killer. Buildings, flower beds, flagpoles, mailbox, all those little things take time to go around, especially on a garden tractor, because you got to pull forward, back up, pull forward, you know what I mean. Zero turn, you can whip around. Push mower, you can just push it around pretty easy. So you want to determine that. Now, first starting out, you might be a little scared and a little nervous because you really need the work. So you're going to underbid yourself a little bit, and that's fine, because I did. I did my first year until I started getting comfortable, putting in a realistic, profitable bid. There are jobs that I still have, 3 years later, that I put in, my first year, that I'm not making a whole lot of money, but I'm making, I'm not doing them for free either. You want to make sure that you're not basically giving all your time away. You want to figure out how much gas whatever your equipment is uses, and then that'll help determine, how much money you're going to spend in fuel for the day or week or month or however, you're going to do it. I'm only mowing 3 days a week, and I'm making more money than what I was doing working 12 months out of the year, working 5 days a week, salary, and I'm off from basically the middle of October until around the end of March. Just depends on the weather. Close to the end of the March to the middle of April. So about a good 6 months I'm off, and I'm making more money pretty much 6 months working 3 days a week for myself. I do have a friend that helps me now. I have some cemeteries that I do, and there's a lot of headstones. That's not that bad. He just helps me, pretty much that one day, or if it's raining a lot, and I've got a lot to catch up, he'll help me. It's just some extra cash that he wants. He has a job, and so that helps to have a friend or a relative that can help you out too, because some places you don't want to be out by yourself. I've got a lot of jobs where I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and a lot of jobs like the cemeteries, there's not any people that live around, and if something happened, you're out there by yourself, and you could be out there a really long time hurt and no one know where you're at. So, and that's another suggestion too. If you are mowing by yourself and you're gonna be out, somewhere far away, determine how long it's going to take you to be there, and let someone know, whether it's your mom, your wife, your husband, if ladies are out mowing, your kid, anybody, just to give them an idea of where you're at and how long it's going to be. Because like I said, anything could happen. If you're allergic to bees, you're going to run into hornets' nests and things like that, and you start getting stung by a bunch of bees, and you're out there and you're a good ways away, you're going to be hurting for a long time. You could die. I'm allergic to bees, so like I said, when I'm out there, by myself out in the middle of nowhere, it makes me nervous. So I try to have someone with me, so I don't have to worry about it. And I let my wife know where I'm at, that day. And but most of my stuff, there's people around, and you don't want to be too brave on things, because nothing's worth, losing your life over. These zero turns especially, there's no weight in the front end of them. The whole motor is in the back. So you start looking at slopes and hills, you want to be careful, especially if you're on a smaller zero turn. Like I said, I had that 48 inch and I could hardly do anything. I couldn't hardly do just the smallest grade without sliding or it wanting to lift up and do a backflip. But I've since upgraded to a 60 inch. It's a lot wider, it's a lot heavier, it's a lot more stable on hills. But again, going up the hill, you want to be careful because there is no weight in the front end. If a hill is very steep, you can go down it, but you got to make sure that you've got somewhat of a runway, because if there's a fence line or a tree line or a building at the bottom, they don't stop very great. So you're going to want to make sure that you have somewhere to go, or else you're going to slam into something. Same thing if you're going on, sideways on some hills. There's no weight in the front end. Your back tires is what steers you, and it's just on casters. So those front wheels are going to want to, wobble around like a shopping cart pretty much. And if that front end starts to go, towards downhill and you're going, at a pretty decent speed, you're going down that hill. There's no stopping it. So like I said, I just wanted to touch bases on a few things. If you're wanting to get started, I highly suggest, if you want to work by yourself and you want to work for yourself and you want to make some money, mowing lawns is a pretty good gig. Like I said, I'm working 3 days a week and making more money than I did working salary as an operation administrator. I was basically running the facility, and I've got kids at home, so it makes it nice because I can spend more time with my kids, I can spend more time with my family. And another good thing about this, you wake up, you're sick, you don't have to call in and tell them you're not going to be there because you don't feel good. You don't go. Try to do it the day after, or if you got a doctor's appointment, or your kid's got a ball game or something you want to go to. You could work part of the day and it's no big deal, and you can pick it up the following day, or you can do it a day early. And that's why I try to keep it at just 3 days a week for things like that, for weather, doctor's appointments, games, different things, different family functions, holidays. You don't want to be out mowing all day long on the 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day. And, people aren't going to appreciate that either, because they're trying to have cookouts and stuff. And, you're out mowing, trying to mow their yard, and they're trying to have a, family function, birthday party or something. You want to try to get a hold of people. If you have to work on a holiday, figure out what times they're going to be having the function, or birthday parties or anything. Try to keep communication with them, because it's going to make life a lot easier for you, because it's nothing like getting evil glares while you're out mowing and they're trying to have a good time. I've been there, I've done that. You want to keep up communication with people. And another very important thing is, when you're first starting out, try to stay away from people that want their grass mowed every 2 weeks, or every other week, or every 10 days, or something goofy like that, because it makes it hard on your equipment, it makes it hard on you, it makes it hard for the yard to look good. And 9 times out of 10, that person that wants it every other week is cheap, and they don't want to pay. And you're going to have trouble collecting your money. And if you do have yards like that, collect the money that day, the day that you mow. Don't bill them monthly. Most of my jobs are billed monthly because they're people I trust. They're people, like I said, it's been 3 years now that I've had from the very beginning. I trust them. They pay on time, because there's nothing worse then you're out there mowing, and it's now 2.5 months later and you still haven't been paid, and there you are, you're trying to keep up with it because you don't want it to get too out of control. But then, in the back of your mind, you're like, man, I'm doing this for free. Drop them. If you run into problems like that, try to find another yard that is equally the pay or more pay. And once you get that other yard, drop the ones that don't want to pay, because it's nothing but a nightmare. I've had people, up and move on me. They're not even telling you that they're moving, or they're saying, they're in the process of moving, and, this and that. Well, go ahead and keep mowing. Well, then they're gone, and you have no idea where they're at, and you're out your money. I had a guy move all the way to Arizona, and because he was in the process of moving things, and I ended up mowing a whole month for him, and it was a big yard, and it was a lot of weed eating, and it was a lot of work, and it was a lot of money, and I got burnt for, it was about a month and a half worth of mowing, and there's nothing I can do about it but write it off on your taxes. Is the only thing I could say if something like that does happen. Try to collect your money, but if you can't, just write it off as a loss, so you're not completely out. There's a lot of different things, to make life easier. Always keep extra gas, always keep extra oil. If you have extra, or if you have the money, buy extra blades, belts, everything, anything extra you can have, keep it. Keep a small toolkit for everything that could possibly break on your machinery. Keep those tools with you, because there's nothing worse than being out in the middle of nowhere and you have the part to fix it, but you don't have the wrench or something to take the part apart, and there you are, you're stranded, and you got to go drive somewhere, or waste half your day because it was something that could have taken 5 minutes to fix. So like I said, there's a bunch of different things you can do to make life easier, especially starting out your first year. But those are the biggest things that I can tell you is get you some kind of equipment, whether you got to borrow it, Craigslist, yard sale, something. Get you something cheap to start out with, to see if you're going to like it and to see if you can do good. Talk to friends, talk to family, about if they know anybody that needs their yard mowed. Always be friendly and always do a very good job, because like I said, your best advertisement is your showmanship of your work. Like I said, because anybody can say that they're the best at mowing the grass, and you don't know until you go out and you actually do it. Don't mow someone's yard like you would mow your grandma's. You just run through it real quick just to get it done. Go out, go fast, but do it good, because time is money. Like I said, put your rate about $1 a minute and you'll be good. Here I am, I'm out messing around today. It's a slow day, it's a Sunday. I've just got a school and some soccer fields and then a small business. It's going to take me about 4.5-5 hours to do everything. It's big because I got some soccer fields next to the school, and the school's got playground equipment and stuff like that. And so it's going to be about 4.5 hours, and I'm going to make about $285 in 4.5 hours, and that's really good money. There's not very many places you can make almost $300 in 4.5 hours. Yesterday I made $515 in 8 hours. That's more than a lot of people make in a week. So you want to try to shoot for a goal of at least $100 a day if you're first starting out. At least $100 a day. especially if you got a family, you want to make sure that you are making money. Now, if you live at home with your parents or something, shoot, you can do whatever you want. You can make as much or as little as you want, but try to go look for the gravy jobs that are wide open, don't have a lot of obstacles, not a lot of weed eating, and your life is going to be so much better. You're going to be able to whiz right through them, especially as time goes on, because when you first do a yard, you're not quite sure the layout, how you need to go around things, but after your first couple mows, you're really going to start cranking through them. And the mower I've got, it'll go 13 miles an hour, and I hold it wide open. I go as fast as it'll go, and it doesn't miss a blade of grass. So that's another thing to consider, is how fast you can run your equipment and still do a quality job, because you don't want to be leaving streaks, and I call them the little mohawks, the little strips in the middle of where you just cut. You don't want to be leaving stuff like that. So, like I said, if you want to start a business mowing grass, do it. You'll be happy, especially if you love the outdoors. Here I am, I'm just hanging out. There's a little creek right here flowing. I don't know if you can see it very well, but you see a lot of wildlife. You get to meet a lot of different, interesting people. Some interesting good and some interesting not so good. So it's fun. I enjoy it. Like I said, I get to go home and spend time with my kids a lot more. Get to go outdoors and do a lot more things now than I ever could working a full-time job. I can go fishing more, hunting more, camping more. I can go on more trips with my family, because I'm able to, work around different things. So that makes life a lot better, especially your home life. When you're gone constantly, working, you don't get to see your kids, so you're not as close to them. And, if you're married, it's hard on your relationship. And, being your own boss, you can do pretty much whatever you want, whenever you want. You can set your own schedule. If you don't feel like waking up till noon, going out and start mowing, well, that's your thing. You can mow till dark if it's okay with some of the other, some of the places that you mow for. So there's a lot of advantages. There's some disadvantages, because when something breaks, that's your responsibility. Or if you're at a job, like a factory job or something breaks, that's the company's responsibility to take care of it. And you can pretty much go do whatever until it's fixed. Well, it's not like that with this. Your mower blows up, you got to figure out how you're going to get it fixed or afford a new one. So you always want to set money back for maintenance. Like take a percentage of each yard. A good number is like 3 to 5%. Take like 3 to 5% to set out for gas and maintenance. Always set it aside for gas and maintenance. So if you've got a job, a small job, you're making $20, set back $5 of it, $3 to $5 of that yard for gas and for maintenance, and then the same thing, on and on and on for each yard. Or you know what I mean? It can be whatever you think would be a good number to set back, because it just depends on how many yards you end up with. When I first started out, I only had set like I think 10 yards, and I had other people mowing with me too. So not only did I have to pay for the gas and maintenance, but I had to to make sure they were paid too, and I wasn't making no money. But like I said, you start doing a good job. At first, you start getting word of mouth, and you'll start picking up jobs. But again, work by yourself if you can, because they screwed me very bad, because they wanted to slack off, and they didn't take me serious, because I was their friend, I was their buddy. So you got to do what you got to do, and you got to let them go, man, because I had a livelihood to to look after, you know, I have kids and my wife, and they weren't married, they didn't have any kids, and they still lived at home, so they didn't care. I had a lot to lose, they didn't. So you got to look at it that way too. Yeah, sometimes it's, you want to be able to help a friend out, and that's fine. Don't count on them to be there every day. Do not pick up any more yards than you can handle on your own, whether you got to work 4 or 5 days a week. I'm only working 3. My buddy only helps me just a little bit every now and then. But if he were to say, you know, I don't have the time to do it anymore, that's fine. I can still handle them on my own. I've only got about, I think I've got about 23 yards right now. So 3 days worth of work, you know, I'm only mowing an average of like, what, about 8 a day, depends, 7, about an average of 7 a day. So I do have some jobs that are every 2 weeks, but not very many. Like I said, I try to stay away from them, and the reasons I have the jobs that are every 2 weeks is because they're in locations that are shadier than others, and they don't get a lot of sunlight, so their grass doesn't grow nearly as much. So that's why I have those ones as every 2 weeks. But I'm gonna wrap this up. If you have any questions, write them in the comments. If this was helpful to you guys, you know, give me a like, subscribe for more content. I'll probably be making more of these vlogs. I think it's suiting for my channel. You know, we do it outdoors. I'm outdoors, you know, as you can see, all day mowing grass. Like I said, got any questions, comments, you want to know about the equipment I have, anything that you can think of that I didn't cover, you know, just let me know, and I'll be happy to, you know, fill you in on it and make even a video for it. So alright guys, stay tuned. Thanks for watching We Do It Outdoors, and good luck starting your business if that's what you're going to pursue. I highly suggest working for yourself. My grandpa always said that you'll never be happy and you'll never have anything working for someone else. So keep that in mind. Money isn't always everything, and material isn't always everything. So it doesn't mean you won't just have some things like a nice house or nice cars. You won't have a life, because you can't put a price on your life. Your life is more valuable than anything, and your kids and your family and your friends. So keep that in mind. Don't work your life away making someone else rich. Do it for yourself. You don't have to be rich and you don't have to be poor, but you can be happy, you know, doing whatever it is that you do. So I highly suggest consider it. Take care. See you next time.